What's going on, Bears fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bears Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. On today's episode, we're going to go over key things to look out for as the Chicago Bears face the New York Giants this upcoming Sunday. We're also going to talk about updates to a couple of injuries, and the Bears have made an addition to their practice squad. We'll get into all that and some more right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bears Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bears news and content.
All right, so first up, before we get too deep into the episode, or deep at all, I should say, the Chicago Bears have added Reggie Robinson Jr. Now, this is a wide receiver to their practice squad. Considering the injuries that went on, things like that, this makes sense. So they've signed another wideout to this team. In college, Robinson Jr. caught 174 passes for 2,734 yards and 24 touchdowns. He played in 38 collegiate games across 5 seasons between West Virginia and SMU. So something that we've expected with all the injuries right now. Kind of is what it is. He was on the team during training camp. He was cut. Now he's re-signed to the practice squad. So we'll see what happens out for this. I don't think there's going to be anything of note. We'll see. We'll continue to monitor it. If something does come of it and turns into something, hey, then we'll see what happens with the Chicago Bears. We know that this wide receiver position for the Bears is something that, hopefully evens out. Hopefully we see better health across the board, especially with Byron Pringle and others going down. But with that, we did have an update as well to an injured wide receiver. And Matt Eberflus said this. He said that hopefully Velus Jones Jr. can play this week when asked about Byron Pringle still being out and how long he's going to be down. So maybe there's something to be said with that. We'll see. He said that the hope is Velus Jones will be available against the New York Giants after missing the first 3 games. He's been conditioning, working in there. So that's the exact quote. We'll see what happens. I don't know what comes about it or not, but hopefully we do get to see the debut of Velus Jones. Hopefully he does come in. We need it. His speed and quickness out on the wideout could be something big for the Bears as they look to continue, not continue, as they look to improve this pass game, which we'll talk about here in a few as well. Now, we did also have an update on David Montgomery, running back. He's still considered day-to-day right now per coach Matt Eberflus. So we'll see. We'll see. I mean, that's really all that we have to see with that. But let's go over some of the key things that we're looking out for the Chicago Bears to improve their game or build upon some things that they're doing. Specifically, this is geared towards the offense. Tomorrow we may do the defense. But first up with this one of the keys that we're looking for is the balance in the offense, right? Does the passing game hold up enough to where we see more passing plays called? We did see more in the in week 3 than we did in the previous week before that. But does this Chicago Bears offense find balance between their running game and their passing game? We know that the running game has been amazing. We are towards the top of the league in our running game. We have the 2nd ranked rushing offense in the NFL after 3 weeks. So we know our running game is going to be a big clutch for us. We know our running game is going to be a big benefit for us, but how we can continue to build upon that but add in the passing and make our passing game more of a weapon and tool for us as well. As we talked about in yesterday's episode, Cole Kmet saying that the offense wants to be part of winning. They want to be one of the reasons why we're winning. One of the things that they can do to do that is have a more balanced attack. Now, if they can come out, if they can do those things, hopefully we see things come along for this team a little bit better than what we have. Looking at the Giants' run defense, which is weak. So we're going to have hopefully a big running game, but it is better than the Houston, Texas running game. So, it's going to be interesting to see how we find success in that running game. But like I said before, it is what it is. One thing in the first 3 weeks against the Giants so far is that teams have attacked the Giants both running and passing. New York opponents are averaging 30 passes and 25 rushing attempts against it. The Chicago Bears come in with this as they are averaging 15 passes and 33 rushing attempts per game. So the balance is always going to be towards the rushing game for the Chicago Bears, but hopefully we can find success the way other teams has found success against the Giants, and that's with a balanced attack. We'll see what happens with that. One of the things as well with this is that the attack with the Chicago Bears is that if we continue to be one-dimensional, we know that defenses in the NFL adapt very quickly. And so that's one of the things with this is how does the running game fare against the New York Giants? One of the keys to look out for is that running game. David Montgomery last year only saw 8+ defenders in the box 20% of the snaps. So far, when Montgomery is in, he's in the top 10 for running backs when facing 8+ defenders in the box. So he's in the same company as Nick Chubb and Derrick Henry as far as that. That's elite status. Now, So with that being said, like, how do we continue, especially if David Montgomery does not play? We're going to see 8 in the box very often, especially if this passing attack does not come along. So with that being said, how we find that success in the running game, how we adjust to teams adjusting to us if we don't continue, if we don't find a way to be a balanced offensive attack, it's going to make things more difficult even for our running game at that point. And if that happens and we don't have a solid passing game to rely on at that point, again, not not expecting it to be at the top of the league or anything like that, but if we don't have a solid passing attack as teams adjust to how heavy we run the ball, it could be some very questionable and tough days out there for David Montgomery and Khalil Herbert as they move forward. The last key for the Chicago Bears on offense when it comes to that is the improvement from the quarterback and the wide receivers. How do we see that game continue to improve? We saw Darnell Mooney, Cole Kmet targeted way more in week 3 than what we saw in week 1 and 2. So hopefully that continues. But some of the things that are concerning with this, as of right now, Justin Fields has an expected completion percentage, a true completion percentage, 16%, which is worse. It's worse in the NFL. We know this. We're not going to keep dogging on, Justin Fields in the passing game. We know that there are some issues there that this team needs to work out, but they're going to have to figure it out. They're going to have to get the wide receivers and the quarterback, the receiving core as well, including Cole Kmet, even the running backs coming out the back. We're going to have to get this pass game improved, right? We want to see improvement in this game. Do I expect to see it polished off? No. Have I been saying since the beginning? It's going to take some time, maybe to the midway to the season, seeing how bad certain things are until this offense is running on all cylinders, if it even happens this season. But we're going to have to see improvement from the wide receivers, from Justin Fields in this game. That is one of the key things to look out for. We hoped, or I should say, I hoped at least, that the Bears would find some success against the Texans in the passing game to kind of get the rhythm and routine going against that team that was weak in that area. It did not happen. Hopefully we can see some improvement. I'm not expecting it to be all 100%. I'm not expecting it to be great. I'm not expecting that. But if we can see some improvement from Justin Fields and the receiving core, I think it's going to bode well for how this team is developing, how the coaching staff is adjusting, how they're coaching and doing things in practice in between games. All those type of things. Now, Justin Fields has said, he did say this in a presser, that he doesn't feel like he's being hesitant on throws. I would say that I disagree with that. But again, with that being said, there are more issues than just Justin Fields. It's not just there. For offense to run as a well-oiled machine, it takes a lot. So, we got to see it. We got to see it all come together. We got to see Luke Getsy, Matt Eberflus, everybody just hopefully an improved play calling, hopefully an improved level of trust. And we'll see what happens with this. At the end of the day, we do have an amazing running game. And yes, we're absolutely going to rely on that. But if we can get this offense to be more balanced, if we can get improvement, right? Improvement week to week. We'll worry about the long and bigger term picture down the road. But we need to see some improvement from the passing game on this team, both in the play calling, the players playing, drop passes, things like that. We need to see a total improvement overall in this Bears passing game heading into our week 4 matchup against the New York Giants. Let me know what you guys think about all that down below. Shorter episode today, but hey, it kind of is what it is. When you drop daily episodes, it's going to be what it's going to be, guys. But nonetheless, make sure you're following the show at Shy Bear Central. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, ChicagoBearCentral@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text and or voicemail to sound off on our usual Friday mailbag episodes, the number to do so, 773-242-9336. We are the #1 spot for everything Chicago Bears related because of you guys. And like I like to end every episode on, bear down. Love you guys. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.